Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another session of Ask Zak with myself, Zak, and welcome back, Sean.
Well, thank you, and thank you. I'm very glad that I'm back.
Now, tonight we're jumping into a very interesting subject, and of course, it's of crucial importance this time of year because the heat units are picking up. We're looking forward to rain coming in the season, so of course, we struggle with pests. And when I talk about pests, I'm not talking about the neighbor's children or anything like that. I'm talking about flies, fleas, mites, ticks, all those type of things. Now, when it comes down to pests, it's very important. They can have a significant influence on your farming system. When we look at your blood-sucking pests, they can cause irritation, and of course they can be transmitters of diseases, or vectors as we call it, or of course just the irritation factor. Because think of yourself on a Saturday or Sunday, if you're braaiing, there's flies all over the place. You spend more time just shooing them away, and the animal does the same. They spend more time chasing the flies away than concentrating on eating and growing. So they're using energy for the wrong thing. So that is why it's so important to control your pests. Now, Sean, when we kick it off, let's kick it off with our poultry. How do we control, and what important pests are there when it comes down to our poultry?
Well, thank you very much, Zak. Very key. With your poultry, it's just a few things, but those few things can set you back lots and lots of money and lots in your production. So there's flies. The flies like the manure. They lay their eggs in the manure, so we need to treat them. We need to sort them out. And then there's mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are then one of the number one transmitters for what we call fowl pox. And then all this, and there's mites, the blood suckers. They suck all the blood out of your broilers and your layers, making it difficult for them to grow and produce as much as you like. So we need to control that. The products that we can use, that you can find at Alzu depots, we have fly traps, we have scatter baits, we have paint kind of traps. We have all sorts of traps that you can use depending on how comfortable, what makes you comfortable, what's convenient for your farm. So spray material like Malasol and Neopredicin. There is fly traps like your red tops and your eye catchy. And then there is a gita. You can have scattered, throw it on your grass, throw it around. And there's also this one that you paint all over the wall, and then the flies come in and get trapped there. One of the other interesting things when it comes to your mosquitoes, you need to keep your grass down. When your grass is down, and then you can take some Fendona and spray it around your buildings to make sure that all that's left in the grass that you've cut down dies out, so you don't have any disease transmittance and, of course, lose your profits in the long run.
So now with those pests, of course, we look at some of those pests transfer to us in our houses. Now, there is a section on our pets, but we'll focus on pets in the next section. But let's focus on our flies and our mosquitoes and those things at our houses. Now, a few things that Sean mentioned corresponds, of course, with your house control. Now, first thing that we like to use, something like the red top fly catcher, or a very nice thing is the Ikachi. These are all reusable, basically reusable. Now, the main reason we use them is basically we try to we put it a distance away from our house, and we try to intercept the flies coming in and catch them in that and get it out. The next one is, of course, then we look at our sprays on the outside. Now, when we spray outside, we first of all we look at our cypermethrin. Now, this is very nice with ants as well, but you can spray even your poultry houses on the outside, preferably not on the inside. A product that goes with inside use, of course, when it comes to our flies, is a product that Sean mentioned, is Fendona. Now, Fendona is safe for use even in your kitchen. Just remember, it's still a poison. So put away all the food, put away all the things, spray the area, wait for it to dry, and then you can go in. We need to just give it time to dry properly. Then, of course, Sean's got two products here. It's the Agita, that's the paint one, and then we've got the Agita scatter crystals. Now, what's very nice about these two products is they've got a pheromone in. So please do not paint this inside your house. The pheromone is like, if I can call it like aftershave. The flies like the smell a lot. They come and sit on it, get on contact, and then of course they die. But with those things, think about coming back to the aftershave or perfume. If you're standing close to a person that put on too much, you kind of get pushed away. It's like kind of a repelling effect. Now that's the same with the agita. So when we use agita, we use very small quantities. We do not want to overwhelm that fly's senses. We actually want to lure them. But again, do that outside where you want the flies to go, not inside the house. Otherwise you're going to bring them in, they're going to eat, sit on the bait, and they're going to die inside the house. And of course that's cleaning problem for yourself. So be very aware of it. So you try to intercept, then you treat on the outside, then you treat on the inside. But now when it comes, we need to jump back to our animals, and of course we get our ruminants, our sheep, our goats. Sean, what is important there, and what can we use with them?
Well, Zach, very important. Wet manure brings in all the babies, brings on all the flies. So you don't want lots of flies. So as dry manure as possible, either be it your ruminants or anything, the dry as possible is great. So, but then at the same time, if you have a difficulty, whether we like it or not, then our crawls. Flies will love that because that's where they lay their eggs. So the best option for you is the red top fly trap. This luckily is reusable, so you can take out the old stuff, throw it away, and buy a new bait, put it in, and hang it back. So this keeps the flies very far from your farm. And then, while very, very important, just because we've put out the fly trap outside, it doesn't mean that now we sit down and relax. It will fill, and when it's full, we need to replace it so that it doesn't look bad. And then if we don't replace it, the flies, the smell that attracts the flies will go out. So we need to replace and replenish so that we can be effective in making sure that the flies do not hamper our production. One of the other important things that when it comes to your fleas and other mites and mosquitoes, dips also makes a huge difference. There's multiple types of dips. Just walk into any depot and just ask a few, because there's multiple types that we keep. But then there's the Amitrius ones, and then the cypermethrin. But at the same time, use the correct dose at the correct time so that it works perfectly for you. All medication, all these things that we can provide to you work properly. It's your preference on your efficiency. But if you do not mix it properly, it ends up not being efficient, and then you think that the product doesn't work. So very key with your ruminants and your sheep, goats, and also this reduces the chances of scab on your sheep. So make sure you dip, make sure you deal with your flies, because we want to keep our production as high as possible.
And just to link up with you, of course, our ticks, major carrier of diseases, red water, heart water, the different types of red water. We get the African and the Asiatic. Of course, they are carriers of it. So be very aware. Each area differs, but then again, with your dips, Sean mentioned it, use it correctly. When it comes down to fly control, of course, your spray-on dips usually do not do fly control. It's more your pour-ons that do the fly control. But look for cypermethrin in it, or deltamethrin. They do help, or your Cooper's Redline. Yeah. That's got a flumetrin. It does help, but remember, if it rains, it's going to start washing away the dip. So there's the same maintenance that Sean mentioned on your fly traps, the same maintenance and the same vigilance you need to apply to your animals, and check them regularly. We say so many times, just spend time among your animals. You can learn so much. So very important. But yeah, Sean, you guys are into giving out information, training farmers, especially now with the season changing. There's a lot of things happening. So what is the information day about, and where is the information days for this week?
Well, this week, Zach, we are in Petit and Groblersdal. In Groblersdal, we have a broiler and layer information day. And in Petit, we have a sheep and goat information day. So come in, let's talk about the changes of seasons, how we're going to deal with these flies, because whether I like it or not, flies in Limpopo and flies in Gauteng have a different situation. There's more there, there's less there. How do we manage it? So let's come in numbers, just book your seat and then come and join us so we can talk about it and we can sort it out, because this can be a problem that can reduce the chances of diseases passing through our farms.
So how do people book, and is there costs involved, anything like that?
Well, Zach, very important. We at also try our best to give as much information out. And then the easiest way to give out as much information as possible is to make things free. So each and every situation that I'm talking about when it comes to information days, it's free of charge. But it's very important. Call the depot, call Groblersdal and just ask them, please book a seat for me. I want to join you. Call Petit, book a seat for me. I want to join you. I want to learn. I want to bring in my story about my farm so that we can create a better environment for us and our animals.
Now, we also showed you a lot of products on this session. They're all available at your nearest Also One Stop Shop. So if you saw something here tonight, just contact your nearest depot and get your products to control those pests. So from my side, thank you for tonight. See you next Tuesday, same time, same place. Have a good evening.
Definitely, we're going to tame this day until Tuesday. So same time, same taming.